Hey guys, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're going fishing. I used to go fishing quite a lot, especially when I lived in northern Manitoba. Whew. This is the Bestech Muskie. This muskie is a big knife. It's not super huge, 8.5 inches in length total, but you've got a nice big grip on here, and you've got a good full-size blade. If you're looking for a knife that is kind of a little bit different, but has some of the unique features that you're looking for, or some of the desired features, such as a deep carry pocket clip that's right and left. If you like a full flat grind, those kinds of things, and you like big, but not overweight, then this might be what you're looking for. So please grab yourself a sandwich and a drink, and stick around. The full review's coming to you right now. Okay, so here's the muskie, and like I've been doing lately, the first thing that I'll do is a little bit of a size comparison. Here is the Ontario Rat 1. For those of you who don't remember, that's the larger of the rats. I like to line up the pivot points when I'm doing my comparison, and there you go. It compares to a very similar size knife. The blade length is about the same, more cutting edge. Handle length is about the same, maybe slightly less, but you still have a good 4 inches of grip in here. So what about this knife is special? I like that it's a full flat grind. Some people might want to argue it because, there's a flat on the top here that goes, well, very close to maybe a little over halfway down the knife, but I'm still calling it a full flat grind because it's predominantly flat. The grind on the side here goes way up there. You've got your Bestech logo on this side. You've got a triangle morphed kind of hole there. You've got stonewash on the ricasso and on the flats up there. You've got a slight drop point here. The blade stock stays its full thickness until right about there, which is over 1/8 of an inch. And then it finally comes down to a tip. So it's got a very strong tip for what you get. You've got D2 steel, G10 handle scales, fairly thick liners, but they're significantly skeletonized, which helps keep the weight down. Liner lock, and then the deep carry pocket clip, and a lanyard hole right at the best place where a lanyard hole would go. Small back spacer, which I kind of like, and I'll talk about that in a minute. It's just a lot of very good stuff. We've got these odd ripples or bumps here on the handle behind the index finger choil. So your second finger, maybe your third, gets influenced there a little bit. And when I first saw that, I said, that looks cool. And then I said, oh, that's not going to feel good at all. But they rounded everything so nicely that, hey, it's a little bit warmer. I don't call it hot at all. It's not a hot spot. But the odd time I can feel it on my finger just a little bit. But not bad at all. Well, the edges are chamfered on the inside of the liner all the way around. You can see the transition spot. Maybe you can't, but right there where the backspacer starts, that's where that chamfer begins going that way. So they didn't just do stuff willy-nilly, like go all the way around and then, realize there's a little bit of a trench here. Oh, that's an artistic element. Everything's planned out. Bestech does a lot of, R&D before they put a knife out. Nice negative chamfer here. Not chamfer. Negative chamfer, you can call it. It's like a scooped spot instead of just using a flat cutter. So it's a very comfortable knife. We've got a little bit of jimping here on the spine of the blade. Very comfortable in your standard saber grip, fist grip, the reverse grips. Everything feels a very good, a pinch grip. It's a very comfortable knife to use. We've got a sharpener's choil that's done properly. And then it's just all edge and a nice slow sweeping belly. If you measure it, the belly really starts right about there, and then that's the whole radius. And then you've just got a little bit of a flat section back here. Makes it very, very functional. with the shape of this here, you can put your finger here and help it that way, but it's not the safest thing to do. You're going to get your chances are high that the edge of your finger is going to get nicked up a little bit. And depending on how thick your skin is there, that's totally up to you. I was wondering what it would be like if they would have taken this flat edge here and just put it in line with the G10 here. Then it would be more comfortable to put your finger on there and have a grip that way. But I don't know if it'd be any safer from, this little edge here. But I really think that would have been nice. I don't think it needs a lot of a guard there because, this finger choil is so significant that it's very safe in there. So, that'd be kind of curious. Something somebody could do on their own if they wanted to quite easily without putting the knife under any stress at all. Of course, you'd have to change the flipper thing here because there'd just be a tiny bit of a flipper. Let's see, how many of those would be there? Yeah. See, the first two would have to be gone, and then the last 1.5 would be left. And if you have that on this side, I'm saying that you would have to. My eyes are tricking me right now. Yeah, right there. So in that case, let me see if I can get this to focus. If we were to do that, then the part where my fingernail is, that's exactly where it would have to cut through. And that tiny little bit of metal there wouldn't be enough to grip to open the knife. So you'd have to change a lot of stuff. So yeah, don't do that. If you're thinking that I've had a good idea, I think it was a little bit of a brain fart. It'd need too much of a redesign to make that work. You've got their nice B logo here. At least I think it's a B for Bestech. And so it's not a free spinning pivot. It opens up just fine. We've got ceramic ball bearings in there. Lockup is exactly where I like a brand new liner lock knife to be. And the ceramic bearings, let me just put this, there we go. Just a little shake and it closes. So the ceramic bearings are lined up very well. Blade alignment when the knife is closed, pretty close to perfect. And, it's a comfortable knife in hand. It's a nice full-size knife. The pocket clip doesn't get in the way. I wish they would have put in recessed screws instead of these bumpy ones, but they have, I think, just enough space this way that at least when I was using it, it never got caught up on my jeans right on those screws. So it's better than it could be, but it could be better than it is. The shape here is perfect for scooping, and the spring tension's very, very good. Excellent for going onto a pocket. Actually, let's take, whoa, I knocked the camera around. Let's take a look at what it looks like going into a pocket, and then we'll do all the dimensions. Okay, here we go. So, see, it just goes in. It never gets caught up, at least it doesn't for me. It looked like it did before that. I just paused at the wrong spot when I was pushing it in the initial time. It slides in all the way. Even if I don't hold the pocket, it's just a little harder to hold the whole system together. See, it just goes in all the way. So that's good. And this is fairly thick denim here for the knife. And so you just have a little bit of the pocket clip sticking out. It's a very discreet knife, even though it's a good size. Now it's time for us to go over all of the dimensions and sizes and all that information. And when I finish that, I'll take this away. So the dimensions, the weight of this knife, 134 grams, which is 4.75 ounces. So under 5 ounces, very good. The factory edge, the sharpness of it, 125, which is very good indeed. The length of the cutting edge, 9.56 centimeters, 3.76 inches. The blade length, by the way, the text isn't coming on the screen because I still have that injured arm that I'm dealing with. Makes it really hard for me to type. And I don't have the time to do it one finger pecking. This video would never get out. It takes me many hours the way it is. Blade length. Blade length is 9.09 centimeters, 3.58 inches, so 3.5 inch blade length. And it seems a little shorter just because this pokes out, which is why the length of this seems as long as it is. Actually, let's not skip around too much. Let's go to the blade thickness. Right here, we've got 3.42 millimeters, which is 0.1345, a little over an eighth of an inch. The blade depth, and usually I measure about an inch down, just at the end of this hole here, 2.66 centimeters, 1.05 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind at the same spot, excellent, 0.48 of a millimeter, which is 0.019 of an inch. Very good thickness, and it's a fairly consistent thickness along the length of the blade. The handle now we're finally getting to the handle. Sorry about that. 12.54, I say sorry about too many things. That's because I'm a Canadian. 12.54 centimeters, 4.94 inches. So there's the 5-inch blade handle, basically. And then the grip area in here is about 10 centimeters, just under 4 inches. It's hard to say exactly where a grip area starts and ends. So there you go, 10 centimeters, 4 inches. The handle thickness is 1.55 centimeters, which is 0.61 of an inch. And then with this big round chamfer, it doesn't feel fat in the hand. It doesn't feel overly big, at least not to me. And let's go. The handle depth. I've got two measurements for you. The handle depth, here is 2.42 centimeters, 0.953 of an inch. And then the handle depth back here on the end where it swells out, 2.8 centimeters, 1.1 inches. Now I'm doing the depth when it's closed. And so I did it, right about here where the biggest spot is, 3.1 centimeters, 1.22 inches. And so it actually is not that big in the pocket. It's not small by any stretch at all, but it's not like it's overly huge. I've seen some guys be able to get their finger behind here and flick the knife open. I just don't have that skill set. I'd use the flipper. And the angle of the jimps here, going to put that away. The angles of the jimping in there make it very easy to do the light switch method. And if you push down just about the angle that those are, you can do a sort of a push button deployment as well. The pros and the cons, after the price, right, the price, $52 US for this, and that's in most stores. I got mine from White Mountain Knives, and you can get 10% off, so that's over $5 US off if you buy it from them and you use coupon code CCE, that's all uppercase, at checkout. Anything at their store, that's a pretty good discount, 10% off the whole store. You could get rich. Just kidding. You can't buy out his whole store and then start your own store because 10% off, you won't. That's your margin rate. You need a bigger margin than that to survive. So don't buy out the store. Just buy what you want to use for yourself and gift to friends and neighbors and keep some for backup because you're a prepper. And buy some knives. Shameless plug. No, I don't have any shares or investment in White Mountain Knives. He gives me a discount when I buy knives from him, and that's as far as it goes. And I point you guys to him because he's got the best prices and excellent to deal with. I also found it's about 50 euros. I found a French store that has this. I found it in Israel, 320 shekels for this knife. So I don't have all the links down below for everywhere, but I've got links for White Mountain Knives, and if I can find it on Amazon, I'll put links for that down below as well. What do I like and not like about this knife? Let's summarize here. I like the looks. It's a very standard looking knife with a few little flares like these bumps here and these bumps here. Most knives are like this Ganzo here, where you've got little trenches milled out, in the back spacer. Either whatever color it is, whatever works best for looking at it on your screen. But this here is bumps. And yes, that's not super unique, but it's not crazy common either. And I like these bumps. It helps with the grip on the handle, and it actually is better for a little bit of lint getting stuck in there. Like in the Ganzos, those little holes, lint can get in there, and this just stays clean. Did I show you pictures of the inside? If I didn't, here you go. I really, really like this knife. I totally recommend it. There's nothing about this knife that I'm going to say is bad enough to not buy it. The cons are, they should have used flush screws down here. Oh, I got some lint from my pocket stuck on them. That's another thing that can happen on these raised screws. It can catch lint a little easier off your pocket, especially as they deteriorate, as you see the pocket wrecking on that pair of jeans that I use in my videos here. But I like that it's all the way deep carry. It hides well, and those are deep enough that it's not a problem. And the only other con is I don't know how to flick it open, and that's my con, not a knife, right? Ah! If I hold it with one hand and I look stupid awkward, I can do it. Oh, that was my 2-time success in a row. Wow. I like the satin blade, the stonewash on the flats. I like that, it's just really subtle. It says D2 right there. And their name, I wish they'd make their logo a little bit smaller and just sort of hide it. Not hide it, but don't make it quite as obvious. But a lot of companies do a whole lot more plastering of names on stuff than they do. I like that they put this spacer here on this pocket clip for the left side, or you can move it over to the other side when you don't need it. It's already indented here where your lanyard hole is, so it doesn't bulk out too much when you put those on. The chamfering, and then you've got the chamfering on the back of the blade here on the spine and the jimping. This is a very nice knife. If you think you like it and you like the look of it, and there's no other major reason for this thing to turn you off, I don't see any reason to say, don't get this knife. It's just got a lot of good to it. You get it in this green, black, or tan, beige kind of color. And I think you can get it with these flats, the ricasso here being black or not. And then the grind and the bevel is all the same color. So it fits really big hands, but my wife said this was a fairly comfortable knife for her. She's got medium women's hands, which is like as a small men's hand. Really, really nice. One other thing that you might not have seen. There you go. I didn't show it off because the blade curls around right there on the spine. It hides the stop pin. It's got a very good fixed stop pin in there. Very solid. I could go on nitpicking all the very good things about this, but I won't be able to find any more cons, I don't think. I didn't talk about how easily it is to, unlock the knife. It just every single time I try, I hit it right on because it's substantial and has nice jimping, nice little milling on there. It's just a well-done knife. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Thanks to my Patreon supporters. I got that knife giveaway coming to you guys very soon after your donations process on the end of the month. Thanks, everybody, for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I'm not going to answer all the comments right now because I still can't, sit around and type. I am getting a little bit better, though, slowly but surely. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.